Good evening, everyone. I'm Jane Ransom, Executive Director of the American Brain Foundation. As we begin tonight's program, we'd like to take a moment to remember Vice President Walter Mondale, the honorary chair of our foundation, in light of his recent passing. Walter Mondale took up the cause of the American Brain Foundation for the same reason many of you in tonight's audience have, because it was deeply personal. In 2011, he lost his daughter Eleanor to brain cancer. And in 2014, he lost his dear wife Joan to Lewy body dementia. He knew that the path to better treatments, prevention, and cures for brain disease starts with research, and he strongly supported our research mission. On behalf of the board of directors and staff, I send our condolences to the Mondale family and thank Vice President Mondale for his service. Let's take a brief silent moment to remember Walter Mondale. Thank you, everyone. Now it's time to begin our program, and I'm going to turn it over to the chair of our board of directors, Dr. David Dodick.
Good evening, and welcome to our annual Commitment to Cures event. I'm Dr. David Dodick, chair of the board of directors for the American Brain Foundation and professor of neurology at the Mayo Clinic. It is an honor to welcome you to this tremendous celebration where we will recognize some truly remarkable people and tremendous advances in brain disease research that has brought hope and relief to millions. It excites me that we are here tonight to focus on a broad spectrum of neurological diseases. I wholeheartedly believe that a discovery in one area of brain disease will have a profound ripple effect on our understanding and treatment of others. When we find a cure for one brain disease, we will find cures for many. And that is why tonight is so special. During our time together, we'll hear from the researchers, scientists, and advocates on the front lines of the fight against brain disease and witness the inspiring stories of those most impacted by brain diseases. Tonight is the embodiment of the American Brain Foundation's mission to bring researchers and donors together to cure brain diseases and disorders. When all parties come together with a singular focus, there's no problem that can't be solved. The American Brain Foundation works in partnership with the world's largest association of neurologists and our founder, the American Academy of Neurology, to fund breakthroughs in every area of brain disease. As of today, we have invested more than $33 million in research and granted scholarships to more than 270 researchers. I also want to thank the American Academy of Neurology for their generous support of this event and as the founding sponsor of this event. Every year during Commitment to Cures, we get closer to finding cures for the brain diseases that affect more than 1 in 6 people worldwide. With your support, we can make this our most impactful event yet. The leadership of tonight's event includes co-chairs Sean Sanseveri and Dr. Joseph Servin, so enormous thanks to them and to the entire board and staff of the American Brain Foundation. Now, it is my honor to introduce our master of ceremonies, the host of CNBC's Mad Money, best-selling author, migraine awareness advocate, and backed by popular demand, Jim Cramer. Mr. Cramer is absolutely passionate and dedicated to giving a voice to those living with brain diseases and disorders because of his own experience living with migraine. Jim, I can't thank you enough for being here tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Dodick. And thank you all for being here tonight and participating in this incredibly important and impactful event for brain disease research. My name is Jim Cramer, and I am one of more than 39 million Americans living with migraine. For those of you who don't know, migraine is a disabling disease that has affected every aspect of my life. It wasn't until I connected with a neurologist and received a proper diagnosis that I was able to get relief. It was a process that took years, and I'm one of the lucky ones. So many people out there do not have access to specialists, resources, and treatment for neurological diseases. That's why the tireless efforts of the American Brain Foundation to cure not just one brain disease, but all of them is truly remarkable. Tonight is all about coming together and raising money to turn the dream of a world without brain disease into reality. Together we can build that world. And every time you click that donate button tonight, you pave the way for more research for brain diseases and disorders. We have so much fun planned tonight, including a craft cocktail demo, appearances from Dr. Sanjay Gupta, Susan Schneider-Williams, Khloé Kardashian, and Cindy McCain, plus a musical performance by Grammy-nominated singer and songwriter Alex Newell. So let's get this party started. Grab your cocktail glasses and join me in welcoming mixologist Tamu Curtis, the founder and president of the Cocktailery.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tamu Curtis, and I'm a mixologist and the founder of the Cocktailery. I'm so excited to be here with you tonight. As someone who has a personal connection to brain disease, I know how difficult and what impact it can have on everybody's lives involved. My family lost our grandmother a few years back, and it was in her declining health that dementia became part of our family story. Seeing someone that you loved so dearly lose her memories of the incredible life that she led, the contributions that she made to her community, and the impact that she had on our lives was so difficult for everyone involved. The work that the American Brain Foundation is doing to make connections between brain disease and their cures is incredibly important. So I am so honored to be a part of tonight's event. What we're going to do is we're going to start by making a cocktail together. And we're going to make a Moscow Mule. We're going to be using a ginger simple syrup. We'll be using a fresh lime. We'll be using vodka or gin. They're very interchangeable in this cocktail. We'll need club soda or a seltzer water. And if you want to make a fresh Moscow Mule and add another layer of flavor into it, you can use fresh cucumber or berries. I'm going to use cucumbers. So I went ahead and sliced my cucumbers up ahead of time. I sliced them up about 1/4 of an inch thick. If you're using berries, you can use a blackberry, raspberry, blueberry, strawberries, any type of fresh berry. And that'll just make your cocktail a little bit more interesting. So with that, let's go ahead and get started making the cocktail. First things first is we are going to take our lime and we are going to add in 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice into our cocktail shaker. Now, I'm calling out ingredients for one cocktail. If you want to make 2 cocktails, go ahead and double the amounts that I'm calling out. So I'm going to go ahead and measure 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice right into my jigger. I often like to measure my ingredients in my cocktail, especially with citrus, because you never know how much citrus you're going to get out of your lemon or lime when you are juicing it. So it's always good to measure it so it keeps your cocktails balanced. So 3/4 of an ounce goes right into my cocktail shaker. And now I'll go ahead and I'm going to add my fresh cucumbers. I'm going to take about 4 slices of cucumbers. And if you want to use your berries, I would say use about 4 to 5 berries per cocktail. So I have my cucumbers and my lime juice in my cocktail shaker. I'm going to go ahead and give this a muddle. What I want to do really is I just want to break up and squeeze out the juice in the cucumber, okay? And when I'm muddling, I'm not pounding. It's really just a press and a twist, okay? We're squeezing the juices out. We're not trying to pulverize it. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add our ginger simple syrup. Basically what we're doing with this cocktail is we are deconstructing the Moscow Mule and we're making our own ginger beer by using the fresh ginger simple syrup and then finishing our cocktail with the club soda. So that way we have more control over how sweet we want our cocktail to be. With that being said, when you add your ginger simple syrup, feel free to add 1 ounce to 1.5 ounces per cocktail. If you like cocktails a little bit more on the tart side, just use 1 ounce. If you like your cocktail to be a little bit more sweet, you want to go ahead and use 1.5 ounces. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add 1 full ounce of ginger simple syrup. I'm more on the tart side when it comes to my palate. And then finally, we're going to add our spirit. I'm going to be using vodka, and I'm going to use 2 ounces. You can just replace the vodka for gin if you're a gin drinker. This cocktail, like I said, will work with either gin or vodka or even whiskey. And if you're not going to use any spirit at all and you're going to make a spiritless cocktail, this cocktail works great for that. What you're going to do is you're just bypassing this part of us putting our spirit in, and you're just going to add a little bit more club soda on the end, okay? So now we're ready to get to shaking. I'm going to go ahead and fill my cocktail shaker about halfway up with ice. And at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and put ice into my drinking glass. We want to fill our drinking glasses all the way up with ice. The reason for that being is the more volume of ice that you're going to have in your glass, the colder the glass is going to stay because that ice is packed in there. So the ingredients that you pour into your cocktail will stay cold and your ice won't melt so fast. And you'll have a better tasting cocktail over time. Okay, so go ahead and fill your drinking glasses all the way up with ice. Now I'm going to go ahead, give this a good shake. And when we're shaking our cocktail, we want to put some effort into it because we want to waken it up. We want to bring it alive, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pour my ingredients into my drinking glass, and I'm going to leave about 1 inch of space at the top. The reason for that being is I'm going to finish and top this off with club soda. And that's going to be the bubbles that are going to mimic as if we had ginger beer, okay? So I would say just go ahead and add about 2 ounces of club soda. Two ounces, perfect. And then as a garnish, I feel like you should always garnish your cocktail. We consume, we eat things with our eyes first. So we definitely want it to be aesthetically pleasing. I'm gonna take a few of my cucumber slices. Put these in here. So when someone picks up this cocktail, they'll know that they will be expecting a cucumber flavor. We'll add a straw. Make sure this is mixed up well. And cheers to tonight. Thank you very much for having me.
What a delicious mule. Thank you for the awesome demonstration. Now to get started with an award, I'd like to introduce Andy Potamkin, granddaughter of the great Luba Potamkin. The work this family has done in honor of Luba is incredible. The American Academy of Neurology's Potamkin Prize, which is funded through the American Brain Foundation, is often referred to as the Nobel Prize of Alzheimer's research, and has been instrumental in advancing our understanding of Alzheimer's disease and other types of dementia. Andy is here tonight to introduce the winner of the Potamkin Prize.
Hello, I'm Andy Potamkin. The Potamkin Prize was established in 1988 in honor of my grandmother Luba. Since then, we have awarded over $3 million to over 70 scientists and researchers who are pioneering uncharted territory and finding groundbreaking discoveries in the field of brain research. This year, we have launched the Potamkin Prize for Students, a scholarship which will be awarded at the International Science and Engineering Fair, selected by a panel of past prize recipients. By sponsoring continuous research within the field and providing funding to multiple scientists over the course of decades, we aim to layer innovative research into potential treatments. This year, we are honoring 2 joint recipients of the Potamkin Prize, Dr. Ken Kosick, a neurologist at the University of California, Santa Barbara, and Dr. Giovanna Malucci, a neurologist at the University of Cambridge in England. Dr. Kosick's contributions are diverse and pioneering. His research has greatly impacted understanding of the tau protein and the role of tau in fundamental cell biology. Dr. Malucci's scientific accomplishments have been extraordinary. She was the first to describe the role of PERK signaling overactivation in driving neurological loss through repression of protein synthesis. I am delighted to bestow the award on Drs. Ken Kosick and Giovanna Malucci. Congratulations, and thank you both for your work.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Giovanna Malucci. I'm from the University of Cambridge in England, UK, where I'm director of the Centre for the UK Dementia Research Institute, and I'm the Van Gies Professor of Clinical Neurosciences. So I'm a neurologist and a researcher. I'm here tonight to thank you for the great honour of being a recipient of this year's, the 2021 Potemkin Prize. And I'm deeply indebted to the American Academy of Neurology, to the American Brain Foundation, and of course, to the Potemkin family who funded this amazing award. The award means an enormous amount to me. My lab has worked for the last 25 years on the reasons why brain cells die in these disorders, and we've made really wonderful progress that has great promise now for patients. So the award is both, I've taken it as the most great honor of tribute to our research, but also a huge stimulus to bring this work now to the clinic and to the patients to try and ameliorate these disorders. So I'd just like to thank you all again. Thank you all for listening, and have a wonderful evening.
Hello, my name is Ken Kosick, and I'm honored to be the recipient of the 2021 Potemkin Prize. I want to thank the American Academy of Neurology, the American Brain Foundation, and the Potemkin family for funding this award. It's a privilege to pursue research that is driven both by curiosity and the desire to find treatments for our patients. As a physician scientist, I have had the opportunity to explore ideas in the laboratory. Many of them might at first seem tangential to the original motivation, which is neurodegeneration. But as one probes deeper into the workings of the brain, surprising connections to neurodegeneration always emerge. In parallel, my work on the neurodegeneration of dementia problem in Colombia, where the largest family in the world with familial early onset Alzheimer's resides, always keeps patients and their families foremost in my mind. Thank you very much.
What incredible people doing incredible work. You're making a difference in the millions of lives affected by brain disease. Thank you so much. Now here to present the Public Leadership in Neurology Award is the incredible Dr. David Eagleman, a neuroscientist, technologist, and entrepreneur. A few of his many projects include the PBS series The Brain with David Eagleman and The Creative Brain on Netflix. He is also an award-winning author.
Good evening. My name is David Eagleman. I'm a neuroscientist at Stanford University and a board member of the American Brain Foundation. It's my pleasure tonight to introduce the Public Leadership in Neurology Award. This award honors people who have advanced public awareness or research or understanding of brain disease. In previous years, we've given this award to Michael J. Fox and Walter Mondale and Julie Andrews and Amelia Clark and Sidney Crosby and Ann Romney and many others. This year, it's a great honor to give the Public Leadership in Neurology Award to Dr. Sanjay Gupta. Dr. Gupta is being awarded for his role in raising public awareness about brain health. As a neurosurgeon who has become America's doctor, and through his latest book, Keep Sharp, Dr. Gupta has continuously raised awareness about brain disease and brain health. Dr. Gupta leverages his expertise and his influence to educate hundreds of millions of people about the brain. He sheds light on the struggles of those with brain diseases, and he inspires the public to pursue brain health for themselves. Sanjay, we're so pleased to have you here with us tonight, virtual though it is, and we present to you the Public Leadership in Neurology Award.
Well, I am tremendously honored to be receiving this award. Thank you. As a neurosurgeon, as a journalist, I've taken my obligation, I think, very seriously to do something in my life with these shared interests. As you might guess, as a neurosurgeon, I've had this long-standing love affair with the brain. But as a journalist, I also realized how little people sometimes understand about this remarkable 3.5-pound organ, often written about in mystical tones. Writers bewildered by the idea that an interwoven bundle of flesh could at the same time contain our thoughts, our joys, our pains, our dreams, while also governing our movement and our sensation and our basic biological reflexes. It's wondrous, and nothing we do or say to describe the brain should ever take away from that. Most people I find are wildly interested in learning how their brains work, what makes their brains optimized, and also what can lead to a decline. At the same time, most people have no idea how to improve the health of their brain or that it's even possible. I was quite struck when I went around the country and to various places around the world and asked people to define simply, what is a healthy brain? Unlike other organs in the body, the brain up until recently was mostly defined by its inputs and its outputs, a black box of sorts, impenetrable, encased by a hard skull of bone. And yet I thought it was important to try and make the brain more accessible to people, more understandable. That's why I wrote the book, Keep Sharp, to try and do my part to bring the fascinating frontier of brain research to a very, very enthusiastic and earnest audience. We learn so much in the world of neuroscience, so much wonderful knowledge, much of it inspired by an organization like yours, the American Brain Foundation. I really applaud this organization's efforts. This award means a lot to me, and I want to do everything to support this organization. Again, my goal in writing the book Keep Sharp was to take a lot of the knowledge that you help inspire and present it to the public at large in a way that can make them better and happier and more productive and, yes, sharper. A healthy brain. What is that? One that remembers the important, but is also quite adept at forgetting the trivial. A healthy brain is one that can accelerate quickly and slam on the brakes as necessary. A healthy brain is Dr. Robert Sapolsky, an evolutionary biologist. He said to me when I asked him about this, he said, it's not necessarily a happy brain, but a healthy brain is one that has a very wide circle of us. A brain that can truly include lots of different people in your world, in your orbit. A healthy brain is an empathetic one, not just in word, but in how you live your life. This award means more to me than you can know. I will really treasure it. I just want to thank everyone at the foundation once again. Thank you.
Incredible. Thank you for all you have done to raise awareness of brain health, Dr. Gupta. Now let's hear from advocate and American Brain Foundation Vice Chair, Susan Schneider Williams. In 2014, Susan lost her husband, the love of her life, Robin Williams, to Lewy body dementia. Robin was a cultural icon and a true artist, and his death was just unfair. Now Susan is working tirelessly to drive research for Lewy body dementia, which is nothing short of a gut-wrenching disease. Susan, I'm humbled to introduce you today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Susan Schneider Williams, Vice Chair of the Board at the American Brain Foundation. My entry into the world of brain disease research and advocacy came through a very specific door, and that was Lewy body dementia, the disease that my husband Robin Williams had. He had one of the worst cases that doctors had ever seen, and the issue was they couldn't technically see it while he was alive. It was only evident in autopsy. So in my work with the foundation, what we looked at was what's the most important area right now in Lewy body disease that we can have an effect on? Where do we want to put the research dollars? And we reached out to the donor families of ours who had lost someone to Lewy body disease. And we asked them, what area do they think is the most important? Where do they want their dollars to go make a difference? And everyone came back with the same answer, which matched my answer. And that was, we want to see a diagnosis while someone is alive. A clear-cut diagnosis, not by deduction, but where's the problem? What is the problem and where is it? And we want to see it. And so what I'm really excited to tell you tonight is that we are announcing, as of this evening, the 2021 Cure One, Cure Many Award, a research award for early diagnosis of Lewy body disease. And I want to thank our partners who've helped make this happen. The award is sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association, the Michael J. Fox Foundation, and in collaboration with the American Academy of Neurology, our research partner. It is a $3 million multi-year award, and applications will open this summer. So the really good news is that there are no shortages of brilliant ideas out there. And with your donation to the American Brain Foundation tonight, your gift supports important research like this
and bringing in those brilliant ideas and making them happen. To learn more about the award and how to apply, please visit the American Brain Foundation website. Thank you everyone for being here. We really appreciate your support.
Thank you, Susan. Remember, when you make a donation to the American Brain Foundation, you support projects like this one and grant more amazing researchers the opportunity to access the resources they need to search for better treatments and eventually cures for brain diseases and disorders. Now, normally, I would never get to say that I am in the same club as our next guest. She is a cultural icon and brilliant entrepreneur. But what you might not know is that there was something holding her back: migraine, a disease I hate to say I know too well. I have the honor of presenting the American Brain Foundation's Ambassador Award to Khloé Kardashian, a true ambassador for migraine advocacy.
It is a great honor to receive this award from the American Brain Foundation. I am proud to be a champion for nearly 40 million Americans who suffer from the painful burden of migraine. Sharing my migraine journey has allowed me to shine a light on a debilitating disease that is often misunderstood and leaves many people feeling isolated and alone. Migraine has been an unwelcome part of my life since I was in the 6th grade. It has caused me to miss special moments with my family and friends and time away from work. For far too long, I sought relief through a treatment that would alleviate my migraine pain and enable me to take back my day. I want to be a voice for others who for far too long have felt voiceless in their struggle with migraine. By using my story to speak out and create greater awareness of migraine, my goal was to send an empowering message to people with migraine everywhere. You are not alone. There is hope for getting back to what you love. Thank you again to the American Brain Foundation for this award and for your tireless commitment to finding cures for brain diseases and disorders.
What incredible work. Thank you, Khloé. Your advocacy journey reminds us that when we speak up, we can make a difference for those impacted by brain disease. I'd like to take a moment to recognize our Commitment to Cure sponsors for helping us make a difference tonight. A big thanks goes out to the American Academy of Neurology, Amgen, Teva Pharmaceuticals, Fanatics, Frederickson and Byron, and the NFL Players Association's Health and Safety Committee. Your support is invaluable. At the core of everything we do are the people living with brain diseases and disorders and their loved ones who need our support. Here to introduce them is someone who knows firsthand what it's like to care for someone suffering from a horrible brain disease. Please join me in welcoming Dan Gasby, a member of our board.
Hello, my name is Dan Gasby, and I am a very proud member of the American Brain Foundation. I joined the Brain Foundation after we found out, my wife and I, that she had early onset Alzheimer's. And at that point, we read voraciously about everything we could, and my wife absorbed as much as possible. And she said to me, after that fateful day when the diagnosis was confirmed, I know what it is, I know where it's going to take me, and I want you to tell the story. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm part of the Brain Foundation. You know, I watched her struggle. I watched her with all the dignity in the world fight it till the very end. And it made me realize how important it is to understand the most important organ in our body, our brain. It makes us who we are. It gives us our humanness. And what transpired through that whole situation was that the more we revealed, the more we found out more people had it or had it in their families but kept quiet. And we dedicated ourselves to not allowing that to happen for future generations and people. So what we're dealing with now, and what I'm proud of, is that we're trying to make an effort to let you know that not only as caregivers, not only as people who are suffering with various brain diseases, that you're not alone. And we want the people who have gone through it and the people who know how impactful it is, even from the sidelines, that it's important to donate. It's important to make this disease and diseases of the brain, because we all believe that there's a connectivity with each one of these diseases, back neurologically speaking, that we're all in this together. And so tonight, we're going to show you virtually some of the stories of people who have been impacted by brain disease. We want them to know, as we all have learned, you're not alone. And we want our potential donors to know every single dollar counts. Thank you so much. And now, please join me in viewing some of these very touching and very poignant stories.
There's no ability to explain to people what it's like to lose the person that is sitting right next to you.
We will have an experience and Matt won't really remember it. I have to carry the memory of it and it's just not there for him.
I'm exhausted all day long and he begs to play and I just can't play. He doesn't understand.
When somebody's brain is not functioning correctly, it impacts everything in their life. It's a very hopeless place to be in as a person. I never understood that until I was in it myself.
She would call me on the phone crying and say, I don't know where I am. She was having hallucinations.
It was hard for me to accept that my perception of things was different than what was really happening. The Michelle that I used to be doesn't exist anymore.
I had just started my career and I had a 2-year-old. I had no idea what to do. There was this little child that I couldn't pick up, I couldn't hold. You feel like your life is never gonna be the same again, and honestly, it's not.
I am a photographer, so my ability to see things, recognize them is important. I have lost the vision on my whole left peripheral. But I think the biggest loss is my relationship to my family. They saw me as the dad and strong and not damaged. Now they can't count on me as much.
There was this sense that the person that we knew, to a certain extent, died on that operating table.
Everything about my mother changed. From her smile to her ability to have a conversation, and it looks like her eyes are empty. I can feel it radiating that she is not comfortable, that she's not okay, and all I want to do is help calm her brain. And it's devastating to have the one you love right there, and you can't even talk to her and tell her about your day. It's just, she's gone.
We have our rough days, we have our bad days. Everyone does, but there is hope and there is joy.
It is the joy in the little things. It's the joy in, oh my gosh, she remembered this. Or she's saying these silly, funny things now that she never said before. Mom, do you love me? I love you. Give me a hug, Mom. People are more intertwined in the world of brain disease than they realize. By understanding how diseases work, how we can maybe prevent them, we can improve the quality of life of millions of people.
I am so touched, truly. What a phenomenal, brave group of people. Thank you for sharing your stories with us tonight. Let's hear from and celebrate a few researchers who are working every day to cure brain disease. Here to introduce the Sheila Essey Award for ALS research are Tina Essey Mikkelson and Neil Foley, who both have been deeply affected by brain disease. They understand better than anyone the importance of brain disease research and funding the most innovative investigations.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tina Essey Mikkelson, and I am so honored to be with you tonight to present the Sheila Essey Award for ALS research to Dr. Jan Veldink. My parents established the Sheila Essey Award in 1996 after my mother's diagnosis to recognize and honor significant research contributions in the search for a cause, prevention, and cure for ALS. It was developed with the American Academy of Neurology and the ALS Association Golden West Chapter, which my father, Dick Essey, helped to found. The awardee is selected annually from a global pool of scientists, and one of the major impetuses for the award was to share groundbreaking research on a wider stage in the hopes of allowing others to build on these ideas and move closer to a cure. The $50,000 annual prize is awarded through a grant from our family, and we are proud to say there have been 28 extraordinary recipients since its start. The award was an enormous source of joy and pride for my father, and a huge highlight was getting to know these exceptional researchers and having the honor of presenting them the award each year. Our wonderful mother lost her battle to ALS in 2004, and the award remains a tribute to her optimism and tenacity. Last April, Dick passed away at 97. He was a man who devoted his life to improving the lives of others, and I am honored, along with my brother Jim, to now step into his big shoes and keep this important effort moving forward. I know Dick would be particularly encouraged and excited about the work of this year's recipient, as it has led to critically important novel discoveries, including several new ALS risk genes, which will move us closer to precision medicine in the field of ALS. And that is tremendously exciting. So please join me in congratulating Dr. Veldink on this vitally important work. I now have the privilege of introducing Neil Foley, who will be presenting Dr. Veldink with the award. Neil is a 30-year veteran of the Glendale, California Fire Department, a remarkable man whose battle with ALS began in 2015. Dawn, his wife of 26 years, has been by his side throughout his journey, and the two have dedicated untold time and energy to raise awareness and funds for the ALS Association Golden West Chapter. For that, we are all grateful. So welcome, Neil, and on behalf of the entire Essey family, our heartfelt congratulations and our sincere thanks to Dr. Veldink for his invaluable contribution.
Thank you, Tina, and hello to the American Brain Foundation. My name is Neil Foley, and we were diagnosed with ALS back in April of 2015. When I say we, it's not just the person with the diagnosis that goes through it. It's the entire family. And for me, that's my beautiful wife, Dawn. When we were young and a lot more energetic, we used to travel, and that's the thing we loved. When we got diagnosed, we decided to hit some big bucket items on the list, and we were fortunate enough to do that for a full year. But when we came home, we wanted to do something else to help. So we got in touch with the Golden West chapter, and we developed the SoCal Ride to defeat ALS. That's important because no disease ever gets defeated without two things: money and brilliance. So the ride and all the donations that come in provide the money. You guys, the American Brain Foundation, provide the brilliance. And I think it's critical at this point in the disease research, because I believe there is a child living today that will be diagnosed with ALS later in life, and there will be a cure for that person. Now, the brilliance we are recognizing tonight is Dr. Velding's research in the genomic sequence for ALS, and it is my distinct pleasure to award him the Sheila Essey Award for ALS research. Congratulations.
Thank you, Tina and Neil, and good evening all. My name is Jan Velding. I'm a neurologist and professor of neurology and neurogenetics in Utrecht, the Netherlands. My research is focused on finding genetic causes for ALS, hoping to better understand the underlying pathology of the disease and finding new treatments. I want to express my sincere gratitude for receiving the Sheila Essey Award for ALS research. I want to especially thank the Essey family for making this award possible. Truly awesome. And I'd also like to thank the American Academy of Neurology, the ALS Association, and the American Brain Foundation. It is an enormous honor. Looking at the list of past RRDs, it's hard to believe that I am one of these now. A guiding principle for my research is to be humble to science, society, and patients, and try to be of service. This means that I always strive to generate large but still detailed and harmonized datasets in order to find robust, meaningful results and making the data available to the scientific community at large. This is what Project Mine is all about, and I believe that the Sheila Essey Award is a firm recognition of this. My research is not finished yet, and this award is a huge incentive for me to continue. I thank you all for attending.
Thank you. Our next guest has made such a prolific impact on brain disease awareness, she needs no introduction. Mrs. Cindy McCain. Mrs. McCain has been intimately impacted by brain disease after losing her husband, former Senator John McCain, to glioblastoma, an aggressive incurable type of cancer, in August of 2018. She is an advocate, she's a humanitarian, she's a philanthropist, and she is making a tremendous difference in brain disease research and awareness. We are truly honored to present Mrs. McCain with the prestigious Commitment to Cures Award for her meaningful contributions. Congratulations.
Thank you for honoring me with your 2021 Commitment to the Cures Award. It's a privilege to be associated in any way with the invaluable work of the American Brain Foundation, and I'm very touched that you would consider my modest support for brain disease research worthy of recognition. Like millions of American families, I've lost a loved one to brain disease. As many of you know, my late husband suffered from one of the worst diseases of all. He was diagnosed in 2017 with a glioblastoma tumor. We were blessed to have access to the very best medical care available for his kind of cancer. But as everyone familiar with glioblastoma knows, it is one of the hardest diseases to defeat, and the treatment, chemotherapy and radiation, is difficult and debilitating. John lived 13 months after his diagnosis, and I spent almost every day of that time witnessing his brave, determined, but ultimately doomed struggle with brain cancer. The experience instilled in me a deep hope that medical science soon unlocks the remaining mysteries of that dreaded disease, so that someday no one has to suffer its ravages or bury a loved one who succumbed to it. We all know someone who has experienced brain disease. 1 in 6 people will be diagnosed with a neurological disorder of some kind. That is why I admire the work of the American Brain Foundation. They are facilitating advances in treatments for all types of brain disease. ABF connects donors to the most innovative researchers investigating the many mysteries of brain disease. They study the whole brain and its complicated connections to discover new treatments and cures. ABF's vision, Life Without Brain Disease, is a magnificently ambitious one, but not beyond the determination, innovation, and brilliance of those whose life's work is dedicated to its achievement and the generosity of the good people who support them. Thank you all for everything that you do. and for the honor of this award. I will treasure it.
Incredible work being done by an incredible woman. Now, before we jump into our next segment, I'd like to remind you that your contributions go directly to research for curing brain diseases like epilepsy, Parkinson's, MS, Alzheimer's disease, Lewy body dementia, and all of the diseases we have heard about tonight, and more. We have scientists from all over the world working toward the prevention, treatment, and cures of brain diseases. In recent years, advancement in migraine treatment have given people living with migraine, people like me, more days without pain, without suffering, more time to spend with our families doing what we love. These breakthroughs have changed people's lives. I know it has changed mine. To show you all watching at home just how impactful research contributions can be, I'd like to reintroduce Dr. David Dodig to present the Scientific Breakthrough Award to neurologist and migraine researcher Dr. Peter Gasby.
Hello, everyone. I'm so pleased to be here tonight to present the 2021 Scientific Breakthrough Award, and I'm particularly pleased to have my friend and colleague here, Dr. Gasby. Hi, Peter. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Hi, David. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, it's my singular honor and distinct privilege this evening to recognize you and honor you with the 2021 American Brain Foundation Scientific Breakthrough Award. This award is given to an individual and sometimes to groups of individuals whose research led to a scientific breakthrough that has translated into meaningful advances for patients, in particular, a major impact on the care of patients who have neurological disease. So just by way of context and background, shortly after the discovery of calcitonin gene-related peptide, or CGRP, in the early 1980s, you spent over 3 decades conducting the basic science and translational science that identified CGRP and its receptor as a potentially high-value target for the acute and preventive treatment of migraine, and indeed cluster headache as well. You then led much of the clinical science that validated the efficacy and safety of targeting this peptide and its receptor. And as a result of your seminal research, now over 1 million patients across nearly 50 countries have been treated with one of the 6 drugs approved within the past 3 years. And I can tell you that I and many of my colleagues have seen firsthand the life-changing, life-altering effect that these therapies have had on the patients we treat. And we anticipate even more treatments targeting CGRP to become available in the near future. I don't have to tell you that migraine is the most common and certainly one of the most disabling neurological disorders on the planet. And yet, despite that, there wasn't a preventive treatment available that was developed for this disorder and available to treat patients with. And in fact, there's only been one acute treatment class that was approved, and that was 30 years ago. So your research from bench to bedside has changed all of that. And you must be so deeply proud and humbled by the impact that your work has had and will continue to have on the lives of so many people. And it certainly makes us proud at the American Brain Foundation to award you with such a richly deserved award that recognizes your breakthrough research. Congratulations, Dr. Gasby.
Well, thank you, David. I was truly amazed when you called. I thought that it was a call about joining another committee.
Which I've asked you many times to do.
I know. Yes, it came completely out of the blue to me, and it is a singular honour to have this award. So thank you very much. Your remarks were generous to a fault.
Not only has it made a huge impact on patients, but it's made a huge impact on the way we practice. And now to have a panoply or a plethora of therapies that are migraine specific, developed for this disease. And I can sit there with a patient and say that there are therapies that have been developed to specifically treat their disease. And really it's because of your work that is a reality today.
This is good for the field. It's good for everyone who's involved. Most importantly, it's good for patients.
It's remarkable, actually, in any field, to have a treatment where it became very clear that I think we have the right target here, or a right target.
And now, in retrospect, over the past decade, to see every one of these trials hit their primary endpoint and hit their secondary endpoints and be so life-altering for patients and so well tolerated by most patients, it's really remarkable. Now, of course, it's not over. We still have a ways to go, and that's a good thing because it's going to keep us busy.
This is why it's a privilege to get this award from the American Brain Foundation. The American Brain Foundation wants life without brain disease. We completely aligned, and patients can see that we're making real progress. And, you know, for every person you see them, I see them, who's sitting somewhere today thinking it's hopeless, it's not. It's going to turn around.
Another thing I'm particularly excited about is the fact that we've decided to memorialize this award with a headache research fund, which we will call the Peter Gasby Headache Research Fund at the American Brain Foundation. And the purpose of this fund is to support research going forward in the field with both junior and established investigators from around the world. I know how important research has been and will continue to be for you, Peter. Can you sort of tell me what your vision is for this fund and how you would like to see the funding used to support research in the field of migraine?
I was stunned when I was given the award, and more stunned when the Brain Foundation suggested they'd establish a headache research fund with my name associated with it. You may do better if you take my name off it. The most important thing is what it will do. And if there's one vision I would have, it's about early career investigators. It's about making it easier to get people into the field. You and I and most of our contemporaries had to beat our heads against a wall to move forward. I would like to make it easy for people to get into headache research, build their initial career, and then go for competitive funding. So the future for me is about training and mentoring, as you do and our colleagues do, to make sure that the next generation is bigger and better and bolder than the current generation. Patients will benefit from that.
Thank you again, Peter, for being here this evening, and thank you for all the work that you've done. Thank you for paving the way for so many young people like me. I'm not young anymore, but nevertheless, you were a big inspiration to me, continue to be an inspiration to me, and really paved the way for me in this field. So thank you on behalf of all of the young people you've inspired and all of the work that you've done and all the work that you'll continue to do because you're as active and as busy, probably busier today than you've ever been before. So thanks again for everything, Peter.
Well, thank you, David, and thanks to the American Brain Foundation for this honour, which I truly don't deserve, but I'm truly proud of. Thank you.
These doctors are the real deal. Thank you for all that you do. As you make those final contributions by hitting the donate button on our website, it's time for our final award presentation. Here to present the Ambassador Award to the NFL Players Association Mackey White Health and Safety Committee is former quarterback and NFL football star Matt Hasselbeck. Matt, take it away.
Thanks, Jim. I'm Matt Hasselbeck, former NFL quarterback and current ESPN analyst. The American Brain Foundation's Ambassador Award honors recipients for their work to increase public awareness of brain diseases and disorders. I'm particularly excited to announce this year's awardee because as a player, I served with this incredible group. This year's awardee is the NFL Players Association's Mackey White Health and Safety Committee. The committee is being honored with the Ambassador Award for its role in protecting players from and raising awareness of sports concussion. Formed back in 2009, the Mackey White Committee has led the effort to develop safety policies for past, present, and future NFL players. The committee's mission is to interpret evolving scientific literature in order to educate players and create a safer workplace environment. This includes short-term and long-term effects of concussion and other injuries. In light of the NFL's 100% injury rate, the committee features experts across all medical domains, as well as a number of current and former NFL players whose experience is critical to informing the direction of the committee's efforts. Recent accomplishments include developing and instituting a comprehensive concussion management protocol in the NFL, as well as informing COVID-19 policy that resulted in a completed and successful 2020 NFL season. It is my honor to say congratulations to all the members of the NFLPA's Mackey White Health and Safety Committee. Accepting this award on behalf of the committee is NFLPA Player President J.C. Tretter and Executive Director DeMaurice Smith. Congrats, JC, and congrats, D.
Thank you, Matt, and good evening, everyone. I'm J.C. Tretter, President of the NFLPA's Mackey White Health and Safety Committee.
And I'm DeMaurice Smith, Executive Director of the NFL Players Association.
On behalf of myself, Dee, and the NFLPA's Mackey White Health and Safety Committee, we are deeply honored to be receiving the American Brain Foundation's Ambassador Award.
We'd like to give our sincere thanks to the American Brain Foundation, not only for this award, but all of the incredible work you do to eradicate brain disease and brain disorders.
That's absolutely right, Dee. We need organizations like the American Brain Foundation to advance our knowledge and understanding of brain disease. The work that they do to fund research, develop diagnoses and treatment, and above all, find cures is critical.
Critical it is, as are medical breakthroughs. Breakthroughs are important in achieving change for everyday people suffering from brain disorders and brain disease. Organizations like the American Brain Foundation achieve these breakthroughs by bringing together donors, researchers, and people like the NFLPA, who are all committed to eradicating brain disease and brain disorders in our community.
And that's what both our committee and the American Brain Foundation strive to achieve above all. We want to impact people's lives for the better. Through public awareness, policies, promotion, and investment in research, it's all possible.
It certainly is. From all of us at the NFL Players Association, the body of players, active and former, the Mackey White Health and Safety Committee, we thank you for this wonderful award, this terrific honor, and we look forward to your important mission of eliminating brain disease.
Thank you.
Before we say goodbye, I want to thank everyone who has made this night so impactful. It takes a village of people to make a difference, and there are a team of people here dedicated to moving mountains to stop brain disease in its tracks. If you have it in your hearts to make a contribution, now is the time. Whether it's $10 or $1,000 or more, every dollar counts. Stay safe, stay healthy, and thank you for supporting the American Brain Foundation. Have a wonderful night.